Hello, greetings, and welcome. The tape you're about to experience is a very special one. It is a subliminal recording.
So real, to seem so real, to open me up, tear me apart. So easy for you, to seem so real, to open me up, tear me apart.
Very few people need any instruction in negative self-programming. You don't need to read any books or to take any classes. Programming yourself negatively is obviously something that people learn to do very well on their own.
And welcome to this afternoon. I don't know, Tuesday afternoon. December 9th. Oh, and I'm in the living room. It's actually feels, it's only in about, I think it says it's 46 right now. The sun is out outside. And yeah, I'm dressed, it's a little bit cool in here in the living room, but not so bad. I don't have to be sitting in my room with the heater. So I decided I'm going to set up, do a little bit of a stream here for this afternoon. This morning's stream went real well. Tomcats World showed up and joined the screen for a minute before he had to go. Him and Zoe were going to help his parents put up lights. They're like in their 70s or something. So that was cool. We had several people in the chat this morning. We had Saboteur Comics. We had Hojo join us this morning from, gosh, what's it? Something, Hojo, I forgot that studio name. Something River or something like that, studios. And those are comic book creators, by the way, if anybody doesn't know. And before Tomcat jumped on, I think he was in the chat. Then he came on the screen. We had Saboteur, we had Hojo, we had there was somebody that was watching from the Gray Clouds Thoughts channel, the second channel, which I'm not streaming to right now. I'm streaming to Rumble though. And if anybody is watching, whether you use Rumble very much or not, you can go into Rumble through your browser, use your Google account to connect, and then you can follow me there. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do a little. I'm gonna go and copy the link and then share. I'm gonna share. Boom. Hopefully, I am sharing correctly. And I hope everybody is doing okay. I hope you can hear me okay. That's let's make sure everything is. Let's see what my volume is at. We'll turn myself up a little bit. Maybe you can hear me a little better now. That might be what's been probably the problem too when I'm. But I don't know. When I have the mic muted on the phone, it shouldn't be creating an echo, but it does sometimes. Like when I'm using the phone and the computer at the same time. But what was it I was trying to do here? Give me a second. Going. Might be what's been probably the problem too when I'm. But I don't know. When I have the mic muted. And I know there's not hardly anybody watching right this second, but when they do join, I have the link in the chat. It's for my Rumble channel now. Like I said, most people, I don't use Rumble a lot, but I'm going to start using it a little more. There's a couple of people that have some channels over there that are kind of like, that's where they mainly do their stuff. Like they do some more risque type content. And push the boundaries of free speech. If I can remember, I'm going to start trying to give them some views and stuff over there on that platform. I have this morning I had about 7 followers on Rumble, and of course I don't put up and upload there every day. What is on that channel? A lot of those most of those videos are all on this channel too. So, but you never know. I'm trying to build that up over there so that basically, if anything ever happens here with my channel on YouTube, there I will have. Hopefully, I can build up enough people over there to substantiate. But if something was to happen and both my channels got taken down or something for whatever reason, I don't really talk about anything that should get me taken down, but you never know what, on a particular day, someone might get their panties in a wad over. I guess even the AI algorithm reader or whatever could particularly think that something was wrong. And then, so it's good to try to build on other platforms. And that's what I'm going to attempt to do going forward. Hopefully I can get to where I do some content for Rumble that's not ever not seen anywhere else. Like do a couple of different types of videos or something over there. I really don't know what that would be, but we'll see going into 2026. I'm trying to think of anything else I need to talk about or share real quick. Oh, so hopefully I can get to where I do. Okay, so and I'm in the living room. Of course, this little small drum kit could be moved into my bedroom if I want to play it in there. I've been doing more of the bucket playing here lately, trying to practice with that. Now, of course, my arm and my bicep have been and I just realized I'm about to run out of time for setting up me a ride for Thursday, but I'm going to go ahead and not worry about it. And then hopefully maybe I will be able to have an actual ride for Thursday to the doctor and not use the public transportation. But I have one more day. Like if you call, I need to make a phone call by a certain time tomorrow to make that arrangement. So hopefully maybe I'll hear something back here in a little bit. David had messaged me last night saying that he was talking about it as if it was next week, and it was like, I don't think I'll be available next week. And I was like, well, I'm talking about this week. Now he might have just have been meaning to say this week. I don't think I'll be available later this week because he said he was doing some kind of class for his job, and it's like 4 hours that he has to do every so often, like so many years. Every so many years he has to do that. But I think I'll messed up. Okay. And blah, 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 blah. And the way we got to do this is you just got to keep rolling, right? I appreciate whoever is listening, who is tuning in, because I tend to believe that you are the same person that is almost always there at the very beginning of the streams, whoever you are. And I really appreciate that. Yeah, it seems like most of my streams, now this ain't always, but it seems like whoever you are, when you see that I'm live, you at least put it on and it's playing, and that gives this channel watch time. It gives the channel, view. But the watch time is really important too. So it registers that somebody's watching. Now, I understand they say the interaction is the biggest thing pushing. They're trying to, I guess, weed out whether someone's a bot or not. But they should be able to tell. I'd say that they have a system that tells what some kind of device someone's watching from. I imagine YouTube knows if you're watching from a laptop, a phone, or a TV, or whatever. It tells me that in the analytics because it tells me that there's a certain portion of viewers that watch this channel and they watch from TVs. And, sometimes it'll give me information and then ask me a little quiz, every week when it gives me a recap on what's going on with either channel, it'll do that. And so And then once again, how long I stream, a lot of that depends on, like if I've been here solo for a little while and I feel like I've said enough, a lot of times it turns out that a lot of times I find myself doing pretty well and I'm solo. There's people watching or listening, whether anybody's talking to me or not. And then it seems like I'll be kind of close to like, well, I think I'll end this here in a minute. And then lo and behold, you know what I mean? Like I've only been on here 15 minutes now. I'm not talking about ending it yet. But there's plenty of times that I'll be like, well, guys, I think we're going to wrap this up. And then the next thing you know, you got a couple people pop in. And when they pop in and say hi, that gives me the incentive, to keep going. Even if I've reached a point where I felt like it was an ending point, if you got a couple people coming in, give you some eyeballs and talking to you, it stands to reason that you should stay on a little bit longer anyway. So we're just going to see how this one goes. Not every stream can be as what do you say? What I'm trying to learn is that when I'm doing this, and until someone either joins me on screen or, there's more people watching, that it's important to just keep doing it. Just keep going. Whether I was playing the music, the little drum kit here, or I'm telling you about how my day went, and talking about life or whatever. Trying to start off without a lot of dead time. Keep it rolling. There ain't always going to be somebody there, just keep it rolling, because when this is over and it's processed and out there, maybe somebody will catch this stream later. And even if they don't watch the entire thing, maybe they'll watch enough of it to go, they catch something they like or whatever, So, but the objective is trying to focus and trying to, like 2 days in a row, I've done a decent morning stream. I'm enjoying my morning streams, and I'm going to try to keep up with that. And I believe you've probably been there in the morning sometimes. Anywhere between 7 and 10 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to be trying to at least get in, some days might be 30 minutes. Some days it might be an hour, might be an hour and a half. Seems like the 2 days in a row now, we've approached about an hour and a half or a little longer streams in the morning. So I'm happy about that. Still got to work out some detail. Like I'm still needing to brainstorm some stuff about what it is I want to do with the second channel and everything, about trying to create a certain day of the week or every 2 weeks that I know I'm going to have a couple guests on, and maybe I have picked a specific comic book or a couple of topics that revolve around entertaining media of some sort, whether it be comic books or a movie. I'm not even talking about music. So I'm going to try to get some of that, get some of the details of that put on paper between now and the beginning of January, so that I can present this to maybe a couple of different people that I'm interested in asking, like if they would want to try to be a regular, like they don't have to be there every week or every 2 weeks whenever I decide to do it, but that they will be there consistently at least, so that's the hope. And to create a specific day that people know and time. Hey, every week at this time or every 2 weeks at this time, Gray Cloud's on his second channel, and he's going to stream for several hours, and he's probably going to have a couple of guests. And of course, if I'm going to have a guest, a specific guest, it'll be announced. But I want it to be kind of a rotating thing as well, where we can have several different people on at any given time and just talk about fun stuff, like things that interest us and hobby wise. Like, if you've been watching me for any length of time, you know that this main channel is mostly reserved for my spiritual side of life and the things that are most important to me. Not that entertainment isn't important. It's very much important, especially music and stuff like that. The arts, of course it's important. I think I just dumped something out I didn't need to. But we're going to leave that at that. That was a gift to the earth, I guess, I still am hoping at some point to figure out. Hopefully, at some point, I need to email Falguni. I've been meaning to for the past couple of days. I'm going to try to email her between now and tomorrow. Just touch base with her. And see, she was in the chat a few days ago. A few days ago, I did that stream and I was outside. I was just through the YouTube app. She popped in for a minute in the chat and I was on the YouTube app. And then shortly after, I was about to end the stream probably anyway, but I didn't really have it set time. And my landlord showed up. So I had to end it kind of quickly. I didn't care about sitting the phone down or carrying the phone out there and being on stream while I'm paying her rent. It just wasn't necessary. And I made a phone call a little bit ago to the Detox, returned their phone call. I mentioned this earlier today, I think, and I mentioned it in a video. So Tanya, who is one of their intake people, and also she's on the floor and she'd be in the office and stuff. And during the day, that they have people from the Detox, the actual people that run the Detox are there. And there's 2 shifts, and then at 10 o'clock at night, they're gone, and then you're just there with the nurses. And the next morning, somebody comes in. But Tanya was just checking up on me, reaching out to see how I was doing, make sure I was all right. And I was glad to be able to call back today. And right before I went live here, I was able to tell her I'm almost 7 weeks sober. You know, like come Saturday, if we knock on this table, which is made out of, well, it appears to be wood, but it might be some kind of fake wood. I don't know. But it is a wood material, but I don't think it, it's like kind of like a cheap pressed together type of stuff. But if everything, it's one moment at a time, one day at a time. So I can't tell you what's going to happen between now and Saturday, but I do know that today, at this moment when I'm streaming, I have a little over 6 weeks. Like Saturday would have been 6 weeks. We are on Tuesday, so you go Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So 6 weeks and 3 days. I'll take that. I'm happy with that right now, especially after that last stint of what the hell I did. And so it was nice to be able to report back to the people that was like a really good experience. When I went to that detox, I can tell you those people the people that run it were very kind. Most of them are faith-based. Not everybody there. There was one person there that I got along with. She was mainly on nights, and she had alternative beliefs, which I also take from different different spiritual things as well. But I mean, a large portion of people follow me here on this channel, but a lot of my audience has been built due to my sharing of those devotionals and stuff. But I like to let people know that don't necessarily think that I am, just because I'm reading this particular type of thing and sharing some of my faith doesn't necessarily mean that my relationship is exactly the same, or that the way I go about my relationship with the Creator, in other words, I just don't want anybody having the wrong impression and thinking that, oh, well, he's reading from this, he must be like a diehard this and that type of, whatever. I have a very broad perception of things. So, and I keep my mind open. I realize I don't know it all, and nobody does, so. I was watching a cool stream earlier today. It's a guy that used to be a Christian. He was actually like a pastor of some sort or some kind of thing. Like he was well studied in it. So he's like deconstructing now. Like he's going through processes and explaining things that he's learned in his researches of certain, you could say, discrepancies in some of these things that you have been taught. And I've had enough interaction with him to know that he doesn't necessarily not believe in anything after death. He doesn't not believe in like some sort of spiritual power or whatever, but he definitely is like I don't know how to explain it, but his live stream that he had this morning was pretty cool. And there was somebody on there trying to share their beliefs or something, and he was just calling BS on what they were telling him. But that's beside the point. That's that guy. That's not me. I think I brought it up because he was asking somebody to give him some proof about what they were talking about. And the guy was like, and he was like, well, you just believe that. Like, you can't prove it. And it's like, and you'll often hear me say on my channel and my videos and even on the streams, I'm not trying to prove any of this to anybody. It's you either find some kind of connection through what I'm talking about. And if I'm on the subject of spirituality or my relationship in that manner, if there's anything I say that makes sense to you and it connects to you, or you've had a similar experience, that's what I'm looking for. And then there's people that have subscribed to me. Like, I haven't seen this person comment in a long time, but there used to be someone that would comment pretty regular and would let me know that they really didn't have any faith. They didn't really believe in anything. And they wish they could. They wish they had the belief of something, So it was interesting that they were telling me they didn't believe in anything spiritually, and but yet they would continuously be watching my videos and commenting. They were never rude or nothing like that. So I find it cool that someone that doesn't know exactly where they stand with that kind of stuff might be able to find someone out there talking about something and find it interesting enough to continue to watch it here and there sometimes. So, I think stuff like that's really just because you might have came to the conclusion that it ain't real and like you've got all these proofs and stuff, fine. And show the proof to whoever wants to see it if they want to, but it's not necessary. Like, if one day I wake up and have a bunch of definitive proof that all of this stuff is BS, I'm not going to instantly just try to fucking go around telling everybody, well, you're full of shit. There is no God, blah, blah. Like, I don't like to ruffle feathers if I don't have to, but there is a time and place sometimes to do that. Okay, guys, I'm not trying to bore you. Please chime in if you do have the ability to chime in at any given time if you want to. I haven't really decided if I was going to drop a link in the chat or not. I mean, I know you can. That is risque. I've been doing that lately. And of course, I do have the ability to. Now, the problem is, the reason I brought Falconi up was that so far, several weeks ago, every time she was trying to come on to stream with me, we have had the hardest time figuring out why it was that she sometimes would be in my backstage and I wasn't seeing her. Like, it was not showing me that she was backstage. Or one time I was streaming and I was in vertical. And if you're streaming in vertical, the links don't work in the vertical chat. So, and that's supposedly them trying to cut down on the use of AI bots and shit in people's chats. I don't see how that is any different if you're filming and if you're streaming from the computer and it's normal, or if it's in vertical. It seems like it'd be the same difference. Like, if it's a bot watching it, a bot's watching it, right? But there must be more of that in the vertical streams, is what I'm guessing. Because from what I understand, YouTube tries to say that you catch more eyeballs streaming that way. And Restream is about to allow me to be able to stream in both forms, just like anybody that's using StreamYard has been able to do here recently. I'm noticing some of the channels I follow, I'll be streaming. Like, you can see, it'll show like it's two different channels, but the same channel. You click one, it'll be the vertical version where links don't work in the chat and all that. You click the other, and it's like the desktop version. So apparently that's something StreamYard implemented, and I guess Restream is going to follow suit with that. I don't know if it's necessary for me to be able to do that, but apparently they say streaming in both vertical and in the desktop, I guess maybe might bring more eyeballs. I don't know. But the eyeballs that I'm concerned about are the eyeballs, like I said, that can, if you find something interesting that I share or do, you know what I mean? And if you find a connection here, that's even greater. there's a couple of things that have happened over the past couple of years that I wish I was still in touch with some people. We've just lost touch. And I think, and then there's like, when I got hacked on Instagram and Facebook, that created a couple of little things I didn't even know that it had created. But when they hacked me, and then I never did go back and try to like get my account back, I had the opportunity to do that, where someone could have went in there and like fixed it, and it would have cost me a little money. But I didn't get a lot of traction from Facebook, period. Not for the channel or any of that. Instagram, I had a good amount of people that I really did like having connections with there and stuff. But being part of the metaverse or whatever meta world is not something I care to really be part of anymore. Anyway, what can I talk about that might be interesting? I don't know, but if things here in a minute, I may, might wrap this one up here shortly. I don't know yet. We did have somebody pop in, and hopefully I wasn't too boring, but let's see. I can't really keep a blast beat too long, though. Hey, 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 hey. Oh, what do you say? Hey, let's give praise. Let's give some praise. Hey, 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 hey. I give praise. Hey, 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 hey. Oh, what a day. I want to praise. Anyway. I just messing around. God darn it. I am trying to be somewhat entertaining while, I'm trying to learn. If I've made it this far, keep on going a little further. I don't have anything I have to do right at the moment, although I am trying to keep track of. But I did get a few things done today, so that's good. And if you just tuned in, you heard me playing a little drum kit here. Probably kick a couple more beats before it's all over. I didn't have a specific topic when I came on. It just was like, hey, stop by and say hi, and like, in the description. But I'm just sharing with you. If you've watched me before, then you know that a lot of times it's the subjects can vary, and it can be from something real deep to something just more entertaining, or even if there's somebody on with me and we're just cutting up and joking around, to where it can even go and be serious again. It's like so. But there will be more going into 2026. I will be doing some types of live streams where I have scheduled it a good amount of time in advance, several days in advance, up to a week in advance, and have somebody specifically that I've asked to come on specifically, and maybe, kind of like I did with Elliot Rodriguez a few months ago. So, and then Dr. Ben was on with me like last month when I pulled the name for the giveaway that I gave away a copy of a Van Piglet, which is a self-created comic, and based on some of it is based on his real experience in life about being caught up in something really pretty crappy and crazy. But yeah, I did a giveaway, on the second channel, but and we did that giveaway, and he was on with me that day. Now that got a little bit of a copyright, not a strike, but because I pulled up something with some music or had used some music. Of course, I'm not monetized, so it's not that big a deal. All that means is if I was to be monetized that particular video, as long as those segments are in that stream, it wouldn't get any kind of pay. it wouldn't come to me. But I do have that live stream actually downloaded. I can go in there and edit those couple of things out. What it actually is, I do believe, is the music that was used for the little short that I made to introduce Dr. Ben. So it's like I picked something that I thought, and it said it was no copyright, but I think it might be because I didn't actually put them in the description, so they claim it. But I think I can actually, it's no big deal. I'm not making money at it anyway. And, I was talking about this the other day. I don't know if it gets to the point, if I get that amount of watch hours they need in a year and they're like, hey, do you want to be a partner? I don't know if I'll go with it because I think at that point I can probably generate, there's ways to generate a little bit of an income without having to be monetized. You can still be on YouTube, not buy into the partnership and have like a product that you sell in a store. You can have, maybe your own website, and you have other things there optional. And then of course, like sometimes you put your other information, like some people use Ko-Fi or whatever, or you put your Cash App, your PayPal, and all that in there, and it goes more directly to you without as much taken out, I guess. But it is nice to know that you might have that option if you get there. Like I'll deal with that if it ever gets to that point. And I'm not trying to stress myself out by having to put. I'm doing good enough to keep up with doing a few videos a day or almost every day if I can, and trying to stream several different times a week. Sometimes you don't see me as much streaming, but I'm trying to get back in the groove of it. And I hope that I'm glad that whoever you are, you're here, that you're watching, and that you're listening, and whether you're watching or not. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if it's just you're hearing me in the background while you're doing whatever you got to do. Because let me tell you, I do enjoy being here by myself a lot, but it does still get old. I got to say, like, since I've been out of detox, the first few weeks was fine. I was very busy. I was kind of getting a lot more done. I'm getting some things done right now, but each week that goes by more, I just realize I'm still just out here in the middle of nowhere. And, like I do still want to figure out something to get some kind of like more. I need to figure out something where I can be a little more sociable in real life also. But I'll take the internet for right now, as long as I'm using it the right way, My front door is open too, but it's still early in the afternoon. But I just always well, this neighbor ain't home yet. That neighbor's inside with the doors closed. They ain't going to hear much of that. It's really not going to be, it's not as loud as it seems. Probably once you go out there, and if the door was closed, by the time you get to another trailer and go inside, you're not going to hear that. Now, if it was a big drum set, adult size, and I was able to bang on it like as hard as I like to play them, I usually, like if I'm playing with a band, like I try to be light on this because, man, it's just a little, some of the screws are loose, I'm going to have to end up investing in some more heads or trying to upgrade. I'm wanting to get an electric kit at some point, but there's a lot of other things that life has to be taken care of first, like these doctor's appointments, and then still trying to. I need to get to the Social Security office eventually, get my Social Security card, and then get an ID. Get another major thing out of the way after I get my ID. Get that one other thing taken care of, and then I can start thinking about some other stuff that's maybe not as crucial right this second. I'm trying to put priorities in order. Okay, so I am going to probably get close to. We're gonna like. I don't know why I'm getting nervous and acting antsy. I don't know why all of a sudden but I just go with my feeling. It's like at a certain point, like I said, if I'm here, I played the little kit. That's the first time I've played that in a little while. Until I get to the doctor tomorrow, the orthopedic, and get a shot again, probably in my shoulder. I don't know for sure that's what he's going to do, but hopefully he gives me a cortisone shot. I mean, I know they don't work well all the time, but the last time that's what he did, and I haven't had any issues till this past week, and I'm starting to have the same kind of. So hopefully, I can get another shot, and it does the same thing. If not, like last time, he said, "Well, see if this starts helping, and if it don't, call and get another appointment, and then we'd go from there." Like if he gave me that cortisone shot, and 2 weeks later I was still experiencing the same type, it was just as bad or getting bad again. And I'm very grateful that I haven't had that happen until just recently. And when I called yesterday, it turns out I saw them last in July, so that really lasted a good while. At least it seems to have. So, yeah. And I've talked about it already a few times here and there about my dog and videos and in other live streams. Like I have no clue what is going on with Biddy and why she won't come in the room now. Like, she was being weird at first, but she was still coming in the room and she was still jumping on the bed. And now it's like for 4 nights, she'll come into the room right through the door. But when you try to motion her and get her to come on, there's a couple of times she's made her way almost to the bed as she's like really thinking about trying to get up there on there. And then she just don't. So, I guess that is something that is concerning because, I'm used to my dog sleeping with me and being in the warm room with me. I don't like the idea that she's, for some reason, it wouldn't be quite as aggravating if she didn't come every hour or hour and a half sticking her head through the covers that are hanging there at the doorway and looking at me while I'm trying to sleep and then start whining and wake me up. And I get up trying to see if she'll come in finally, and she don't. She comes back in the living room where it's cold. Baby, you're going to have to learn to come in my room. I'm going to pick you up one day and take you in there. She's big, though. She's a big old girl. Yeah. Oh, Biddy. Oh, Biddy. Here's my Biddy. We love old Biddy here. Yeah. I'm not on my phone, guys, so, you can see. Uh-oh, hold on. You see her. Look at that Biddy right there. Oh, Biddy. There's my Biddy. Yeah, right there. But she'll come in here and lay on that little green blanket right there. That's what she'll come in here and lay on. But she'll come in through the night and come in there and whine. And, she wants to be in there, or she acts like she does. But then she'll back her ass up as soon as I turn the light on and be like, well, come on, get on up here. Look at me. I get up. Come on, baby. She'll back out and come in here. I don't know what's going on. Lord knows I ain't been mean to her, so I don't know what's going on. Her leg might be bothering her, though. That might be what it is. But it still doesn't change. She should still come in the room and lay down in the floor at least. Why don't you come in there and lay in the floor? Come on, baby. That's what you need to do. Yeah, you need to go in there and lay in the floor. Yeah. Hey, oh, Biddy do. Oh, Biddy do. Okay, guys, we're at 45 minutes, and I'm going to wrap this one up. I've said that before and then talked another 20 minutes, but I think I've covered anything I really, there wasn't nothing specific. I want to say I'm grateful for my life, even if it ain't always, hunky dory, or it don't seem to be sometimes. I'm trying to have this perspective, that even on a bad day, it's a good day if I can say it's a bad day. I've said that before in my life. Like, think about that. If I'm having a bad day that I think is a bad day, but the fact that I can even vocalize it and say it and complain about it is meaning that it's not as bad a day as it could be, right? And of course, that's easier said than done on certain things. Really big tragic things or something that goes wrong and awry, I can see where things not always going to be like that, or it's going to be harder to keep that perspective. But I'm talking about trying to have that perspective on the day-to-day grind of, like not letting some of the little tedious, small crap, drive you to get like in the middle of the day somewhere, something happens, I drop something, or I'm trying to do something and it don't go like I'm wanting. I've learned to try to like go with the flow. Now of course it works better when I'm on a certain type of routine, kind of what I've been gradually getting back towards, seeing, like being more consistent at doing like a video, at least one video every day, not for both channels, but at least in a week's time doing a little bit for both channels, but every day maintaining the main channel, doing some live streams, whether it's every day or not. But not just that, fixing my walks into the day again. Some days I get to walk further, some days not. It depends on how the weather's been and stuff. And then I've also been implementing a lot more reading over the past week or two. Some recreational reading, which I consider like my comic books when I've been catching up on some of that, about to get through a couple of different thicker things. And then I started a Jack Reacher novel just this past week, and I'm over about halfway through it now. They read really well. Lee Child is a really good. The writing goes very fluently, and I like it. There's not a lot of long boringness in there. It's like it gets going, and it just one chapter to the next. It's really. I like a lot of the Jack Reacher stuff. I've got a bunch of the books, but just now getting back to some of the books that I've had for a while that I have not ever read. And that was one. I can't remember the name of it. Wanted Man, I think. And that's where we're at. So, and, these things help me stay sober too. Like doing the walks, doing the videos too. Like a lot of that, like when I fell off, like anybody, it's not hard to tell now. Sometimes it's been physical elements going on that just hold me back, and I don't have the motivation to do things, even as simple as making a video. But most of the time when I fell off of doing as much content or stuff and not keeping things up to date, I'm in a funk somewhere, whether it's drinking or I'm just depressed, and I'm just working on staying away from that feeling. Away from that substance in general, but just trying to do whatever I can to also not just stay sober, but keep my mind from being going into the gutter and being down. And that's just staying active, keeping focused, and doing the right amount of having a right amount of quiet time as well. I do that in the mornings before I even start, before I put my feet on the floor, I'm usually awake. And then there's a process. And then at a certain point, I decide, okay, I'm going to get up now, and I'll maybe make some tea, or I made the coffee. And then I have at this point pulled out the 2 devotionals. I'm reading each one of those, kind of processing it, and then going from there. And then, usually a lot of the times I'm doing the video, and then here lately, what I'm trying to do is if I can get the video done and start it uploading. Then if I'm feeling it that morning, go ahead and do the stream while that other video or while that first video is going up. It's what I've done the past couple of days. So, and it's working out. And then like with the second channel, like I did a video, there's a video on the second channel right now that of me talking about a short story in a Alterna Comics comic book called It Came Out on a Wednesday, which is those come out and they have like several different short stories told in comic book form by different creator, like artists and writers from the independent scene, up and coming people. And of course, it's an older issue, but it was a really cool story. That one of the it was the last story of that particular issue, and I finally read that, and I was like, I'm gonna make that a video, you know. And I don't know how well I'm doing on that. All I can do is just give you a little bit of overview on like, this is what I like. I like this thing. And, you know, I'm trying to direct people to them because you can get some nice comics from them for fairly cheap. So anyway, I am going to get out of here. And until next time, it's been real fun, guys. Gray Cloud, Sage of the Eternal Moment. Grab that moment, let it go. Keep going with the moment and stay in the flow.